And they say a dream doesn't become reality through magic, but the sweat it takes to get there and the sweat and determination on top of all of it together do combine for what is the effort here at the Intel Extreme Masters. My name is Trey Stunna-Saranthus, and perhaps you're just joining us. You tuned in at the exact right moment. We're about to get into the pre-match here, and I do have Jacob Vinicki and Chad Burchill to my side here to kind of walk us all down what will surefirely be a memorable matchup.
Yeah, look, there's only one thing that I'm certain of going into this game, and that's both teams have names who are big game players, right? Players who have played on the stage many times and have delivered. So that's one exciting prospect at least.
I couldn't agree more. You have guys like Device, last year one of the best players in the world, potentially this year fighting for being that #1 guy in the entire world. Guys like GetRight, guys like Forrest, they need no introduction. Legends of the game coming in on this stage, as GetRight said as well. He has so many experiences from this stage. He's never lifted a trophy though, and I bet you he would like to change that.
Yeah, this would definitely be the place to do it. I mean, we're at the major. There's no bigger stage than this. There's no more saving strats. There's no more saving what gas you do have left in the tank. And if you're a player like Forrest, that tank's been running for quite some time. So, for what it's worth, this guy has put some big numbers on the board in his own right.
Yeah, and you're talking about that heartbreak, right? Forrest is one of these players who has been consistently playing at a high level, but that heartbreak has come. They've been here twice in the final, Katowice 2014 and Katowice in 2015, and they came second in both occasions, right? Yeah. Feeling heartbreak on that stage, it must be a difficult memory to get back into that for any player, but if someone's going to be able to get over it, it will be a player like Forrest.
Yeah, I mean, the shock and awe of even making it to the stage overall. I mean, Jacob, we watched the video here. We heard what NiP had to say. What was your takeaway on that?
I mean, I think they're confident. I think they know their own limits. I think they know that they're the underdog going into this Astralis matchup. So they don't necessarily expect themselves to win this game, but I think that's where NiP is the most dangerous team in the world to face. When there's no expectations towards them, where they can play free. As GetRight said as well, they like to bring in a sort of chaos style of Counter-Strike. If guys like Dennis, Forrest, and Lekro let loose, Resh for that matter as well, probably the most talented guy on this team, gets loose and gets feeling for the game, that's going to be tough for every single team in the world to stop. So I fear for Astralis that if NiPs get going, this could be a close, this could be a dangerous matchup.
Look, there's one thing that GetRight said that I don't know if I completely agree with. There's only so many hours in a day, and I don't think Astralis practice any more than anybody else. Exactly. I just think they're a lot more efficient with their practice time.
Do you think that that practice time was also put into the prep of the veto process? Because we got to look at the maps, boys. This is a best of 3 to determine who's going on to the semis.
Now, if you talk about NiP, their map pool is so shallow. I feel like there's so many openings here for Astralis to be able to punish them on. Now, yeah, okay, so Astralis have looked kind of weak on Mirage, and their overpass hasn't been towards the top of the map pool recently.
Okay.
But they can just exploit NiP's map pool for days, right? If they want to go on Nuke, they can go on Nuke. Well, they don't want to go on Nuke. Nuke's gone. Keish was going to be the permaban from Astralis right here. Now, where are you going to go? I'd pick Inferno or Dust 2. That'd be my pick if I was Astralis.
For sure. Dust 2, a map NiP doesn't play, so that makes sense if they do that. And there we go. It becomes Dust 2. Mirage coming in from NiP, that makes sense. We have seen Astralis struggle on that map, not only against Renegade, but historically, Mirage has really been the map where you want to go to against Astralis if you want a chance of getting a map. So it makes sense so far. As for a third map, I mean, as long as it's not Inferno, I think NiP can be happy. Overpass would be one of the maps that I think is actually open for discussion.
I think it really has to go to Overpass. If you're looking at map pool and depth, it kind of has to bring it there. It is. It's Overpass. I mean, what would you know, Chad?
So if Mirage does not go in the favor of NiP, this is a 2-0. That's the fact of the matter here. You know I love saying that, and that's the
Dash
case.
Chad Burchill, everyone. Dash Chad Burchill. He's onto something, though. Astralis are no strangers to winning, and, well, these guys have every tool that they need within their shed there to make it happen. Now, the map veto, we're already giving a favor.
It almost feels like, you know, a 1-0 instantly to Astralis regardless, right? But NiP, if they take the fight on Mirage, if they're able to, you know, just lock out... Look, the CT side of Astralis is great. The T side is where, you know, it's weak because the map's being figured out. How many executes can you do? We've seen A executes, B executes, mid-control, splits, everything. So that's the problem, right? There's not much depth.
So one of the interesting storylines coming into this matchup is obviously Astralis being this huge favorite. They are supposed to win this one. They're supposed to win 2-0 even. Let's see if their Mirage is involved. Let's see if they learn from that mistake against Renegades, because they're going to face an MIBR in a potential semifinal. And if that Mirage is weak, I mean, MIBR is definitely smelling blood.
Yeah, and the blood smell, it's not a sweet one, but you got to capitalize on it. And you know what? Now we're going to capitalize on the fact that the entire Spodek has been waiting for this moment. It's time to start jumping into this next quarterfinal, and to do that, it's going to be Oliver on the stage. You might know him as OJ, and this guy knows how to bring the ruckus.
Thank you very much, Stunner, you beautiful human being, because yes, we are here ready for our second quarterfinal on the second day in this beautiful concrete spaceship they call the Spodek, and it is great to be here. Baby, have we got a quarterfinal with you. Before we introduce the teams, I think it's always good to look at what they're playing for. A, it's the main part of a $1 million prize, but also to lift this trophy. And if you look at the names on the trophy, not only is it a history of esports, it's all a history of the teams and the games as well. But it's 2019, CSGO is the big esports on the planet, so let us have our second quarterfinal to find out who is going to face MIBR in that semi tomorrow. So please welcome to the stage, we've heard the chants already, and that is NiP! We know they're underdogs, but we also know that they can bite. We know they can, and they're going to have to take on what has been the most dominant team in the world for a while now. You wouldn't bet against them. Every now and again they have a slip up, but it is so rare. Fresh from kicking the back doors in, from winning the Grand Slam, it's Astralis! From 1 to 5, they are absolute monsters. But this is where we find out who is going to get a place in that semi-final. So then, everyone here in Katowice, in the Spodek, who's going to win this? Is it Astralis? Is it NiP? Is it Astralis? Will it be NiP? Let's do a quarterfinal, baby!
And the looniest of tunes being OJ himself, but in this regard, it's going to be the Ninjas of Pajamas taking on that of Astralis. Now the wink coming through very strong, as you can see, and well, this guy's no stranger to the camera. But rather than just winking at the camera, I think that the Ninjas of Pajamas have got to step it up big here.
Let's talk win conditions for NiP, right? You have these individuals on the team. You have Forrest, you have Resh, you have Dennis, and I think Dennis is the one that needs to step up the most. He's been a little bit absent from NiP this tournament. He hasn't really had the best one. That said, though, in the last best of 3 that made them into the quarterfinal, he was looking like his old self. Let's not forget that Dennis also has a little bit of history with Astralis. He was standing in for them more than a year ago, where he was playing some of the most beautiful Counter-Strike I have ever seen played by a single player. So Dennis has the skill to go toe-to-toe against Astralis. Question is, can he do it?
Sure, you say Dennis. I actually think it's Rez. When you look at all the close matches that these teams have had, or ones where the guys from NiP have actually been able to get victories, Rez has been in the top 2 stat lines. Now, that would have to be across the series. I'm thinking on Mirage. Lekro is the one, if I remember back to the London Major, he had a massive game against Astralis. I think it went to overtime. It was just an absolute affair. So he needs to show up yet again and lead by example. We know what to expect from Forrest. We know what to expect from Get Right. But here's the thing that we really need to reiterate. You can see how much they're embracing this right now.
Yeah.
These are the guys, you know, I don't care if you can do it at home in your bedroom.
Okay.
The world cares if you can do it on a big stage, and these players have proven that. So this is why there is always that chance. If they come out red hot here, if they come out confident, they have nothing to lose going against the world's best. NiP definitely have a shot if they get off to a good start.
And you know what, Chad? I think you touched on a very important point there. I mean, this is the big stage. This is where all the eyes are watching. You can see Astralis getting fired up. And for the Ninjas in Pajamas and Astralis, this dream could quickly turn from a nightmare into reality. Both teams fighting for a lifeline here because, believe it or not, yes, Astralis heavy-handedly the favorite, but there's still a chance, Chad. We can't write it off.
Yeah, and the AWP isn't going to be the factor there. I've taken some stats from the Legend stage trace of NiP, and you can see that the AWP spread here. You have 0 kills for Garrett on the AWP, 4 for Forrest, 4 for Rez, 8 for Dennis, and 19 for Lekro. They don't need a star AWPer to get to this point in the tournament, and I don't think that's going to be an influential factor for them here in this series either.
Well, you can have some influence yourself by using hashtag Mountain Dew Amped Game Fuel. That's right. Go ahead and get it in, and let's find out what plays you want us to review here right on the desk. Go ahead and use that hashtag Game Fuel Power Play, because we are certainly going to be taking a look at that throughout the duration of this series. The Ninjas in Pajamas and Astralis now having taken to the stage, trying to get that final sip of hydration. And Jacob, in this moment, what do you say to yourself?
I mean, you're Astralis. You're the best team in the world. You have potentially one of, if not the best player in the world in Device. You tried this so many times before. Astralis have a history of failing against NiP. Cluj-Napoca 2015, they were the huge favorite to win the entire tournament, just like today, but they fell short against NiP, who back then weren't really considered one of the best teams either. So they have history. They need to knock that out of their heads. They need to show the world that they're the best team in the world and do it with style.
There's only a few players in the world who have ever won 3 majors, and all of them are actually Swedish. So the Danes, we have the core of that roster have won 2. They've got to be in the chase for the 3rd here, and the quarterfinals start now. I'm sure they're going to be hungry for that one. We saw in an interview with them earlier in the tournament that they wanted to win both majors this year. That's more than a statement. The Intel Grand Slam, both majors, the dominance. If they can continue this form, if they can continue to deliver fresh Counter-Strike, new ideas, and performing pound for pound in their roles as the best players in the world, this is more than a dominance. This is more than an era. This is... I don't have words.
I mean, at what point, Chad, do they win so much that they might even start to turn into a villain?
Well, look, I think a lot of people are calling what they see on the screen from Astralis boring Counter-Strike. Those people are wrong. This is beautiful Counter-Strike. And sure, maybe they need to become the villain. Maybe everybody needs to be, you know, putting more emphasis on trying to take these guys down, not giving them the good guy card as much longer. But Astralis, someone needs to prove that they can beat them, and I don't know who it is, and I don't know if it's going to be NiP today.
Well, it's not going to be Liquid either, because they're already out of it. But Ninjas in Pajamas also having to step up to the plate here in a big way. Jacob, how's it going to go down, big series-wise?
I mean, I think, as said, I think it's going to be a close matchup. I think these two teams have so much experience, so much history, that regardless of how much skill difference there may be on the server, it's going to be close. It's going to be tense. There's going to be a lot of crucial moments, a lot of prod scenarios. You're going to see Sipnix winning them. You're going to see Get Right coming with some vintage plays. You're going to see all these stars perform on the biggest stage in the world here in Katowice. I think this one is going to go down to the narrow, but there's no doubt that Astralis are the heavy favorites.
That's right. Vintage Forest has been out in full form here in Katowice so far, but they've got a long way to go, starting with Astralis here in what is a quarterfinal best of 3 in front of the entire Spodek. You have all been very, very awesome, and I'm going to need you to make a little bit of noise now as we jump into this pistol round on the first map of Mirage. Astralis versus the Ninjas in Pajamas, delivered to you by Jason O'Toole and Moses.
And Vince Hill. Vince Hill is here as well. What's going on, Spodek? Astralis NiP, this last quarterfinals of IEM Katowice. NiP, a huge task to do, but what better players to do it with? Forest and Get Right experiencing what you can only describe as rolling back the years. A phenomenal tournament coming into this pistol round. They're going to start on the T side. And here we go, going to get into it right away. 3-man stack for Astralis over towards that B bomb site. That run boost is going to force Magic Bass just a little bit. How much is he going to peek? Get Right leading the way.
Already made so many inroads though, but it's Dupree that's going to claim the first kill of this matchup. Glaive holds the line with 2 1-taps, and that's the bomb going down with it. He's going to be able to pick up the 3rd, and Astralis off with a bang.
Yeah, that was so nice, but that strategy from NiP destined to fail, and Glaive trying to get the crowd going. It's pretty split. We know that NiP, their history in this building, a lot of the fans have appreciated that. Those legendary performances, we've seen those legendary players. They've been cheering on the equivalents of the Polish teams so long. But such a stack at the B bomb site for Astralis and NiP, there was no way they were going to make inroads. When those smokes go down on catwalk and you have to go through them yourself. Boos and cheers now. No investment from NiP in the second round.
The crowd certainly seemed divided on the approach. Obviously NiP, a story team with many veterans, many fans out there. Glaive hot off the back of a 3K in the first round, looking to try and apply some pressure with the M4, but it's the FAMAS that's going to be called into action. Device reading the situation, just a little bit delayed and does take a headshot, but there is Rez jumping up to his demise. And Astralis should be locking this round down. Minimal investment from NiP. Easy in the end for the Danes.
Yeah, and just the utility to finish it off, the capstone. Perhaps a foundation of a lot of this Astralis team's success. So good with their nade work. Only one kill coming out from the Ninjas. That's Lekro. On to Dupree in the pistol. 2-0, but the AKs come out for the Swedish side. Still 2 UMPs on Astralis. You imagine they would try and get close up towards choke points. Zipnix will have his towards the B-bomb site, as we all know.
To be feeling out mid once again. Expecting this to be a bit of a reoccurring theme, of course, is such an integral part of Mirage. Gives you control over different angles, but Rez, for the first time, NiP have the opening pick in this best of 3. What can they do off the back of it? Lekro taking some damage in the backside. I believe that was actually from his teammate.
Yeah, it was. And actually, NiP with that one pick, look how much ground they've gained so quickly. Immediately get right in Lekro, pick up the pace, get control of Connector. On the back foot is this Astralis defense. They're going to go hunting for more. Glaive spots one. He wants to finish off that kill, and he's going to get it. Awkward fight for Lekro, and now Get Right gets caught by Zipnix. Didn't think that rotation would have been in, so NiP have bled away that lead of one player. Rez is the next one up, holding an aggressive angle towards the B-bomb site, but he's going to be aware. They might think, because Zipnix rotated away to cover window, that he was going to leave the B-bomb site open. Dupree is there waiting, and now Glaive gets aggressive. A huge stance in mid. Rez, he can be heard here, forced with a big kill. Now Rez turns into a flank. Glaive and Connector, and Rez, he knows it. He's gonna try and find this kill. He's got to open up that A bomb site, but it's a tough angle. Glaive's not looking. Big time frag for Rez, and A is available.
It's gonna come down to the Clutchmeister himself. Mr. Zipnix, what can he get done? He's already put down one frag, 25 seconds to go, but Forest counteracts with one of his own. It's all down to the Clutcher. He's picked up another one, and now it's up to Rez to try and clutch his one-on-one. The Swede against the Dane. Zipnix going to be coming around the corner, finds him with his pants down around his ankles, but not able to get the kill the first time. Asking, but gets it on the second, and Astralis with a 4K from Zipnix, going to get the 3-0 lead.
That's crushing. 4 kills from Zipnix. What a huge play. And Force, unfortunately, the low health, so susceptible to that spam from Zipnix. Perfectly played once again. And he doesn't even get hype anymore. He didn't even get excited. He's done it so many times. Another day in the office. A very promising round for NiP. They've at least gotten 4 kills. They've at least taken a lot of money away. But that one is gutting. Without the plant as well, NiP not wanting to invest in this round. Just armor Deagles. Only one flashbang, and there it is. Lekro makes it sing.
They're going to need many more of those, though, Jason, if they want to try and take this round out of Astralis' hands. Huge advantage in terms of nades still, plus weaponry. Phenomenal start to the round, though, from Lekro. He is certainly a beast with the Desert Eagle.
That's back-to-back rounds now. NiP has started with the opening kill. They weren't able to convert on the first due to the Zipnix heroics. And here they have an obstacle to overcome still. With only upgraded pistols to work with, but they can at least spread the defense thin. This time, Zipnix is alone over at B. An off angle on truck. Rez might back right into it. Another big kill for Lekro. Rez predicts it, and Zipnix predicts the peak.
Lekro keeping NiP in this round single-handedly. Dennis not able to pick up from where his teammates left off.
Look at Force. Force is already in the A bomb site. He might be able to backstab. He needs this kill. He's not going to get it. Magisk with the response. 3 in the round for him. And so quickly, all the hope has drained away. It's just Get Right in a 1 versus 3. If he can find this kill, might be able to get into the bomb site. Some scary moments for Astralis, but they have recovered and handled those situations nicely.
Yeah, there was an avenue in, though, wasn't there, with the flank from Forest and Get Right at the end. There's a player very low. Could have gone into a 1v1 very quickly, but instead, Astralis 4-0 in the lead. Crowd trying to get behind the Swedes. They do have a rifle round coming up. As the desk talked about, AWP hasn't really been an integral part of their T-halves. Will continue not to be in this one.
Not the biggest issue in the world as well, considering Device. Oh, that's a great Molotov and spam combo. Molotov to try and force Rez into the angle. A little bit of chip damage there, a little bit added on with the nade. Three players still just waiting outside of this A bomb site, but the big trouble for the Ninjas is full mid control for Astralis. Device was posted up in underpass from mid. Rifle there as well, so they realize no pressure coming from this. Magisk is going to rotate around. A big shift in the defense due to that information that no one from NiP is attacking that portion of the map. Smokes thrown out towards A. Trying to bait some utility. They've definitely baited Device into committing to this A bomb site. Same with Glaive and Magisk. They're deep into it. It looks like this is going to be hit towards B though. Lekr0 and Forrest likely going to throw some follow-up utility, just try and get one kill. They'll have to worry about that op from Device who can shut this fake down before it even begins.
Here come the players trying to draw out some more CTs on the A side of the map. They are positioned, poised, ready to strike on B. It has kept 3 players interested here for Astralis, and now the B hit is going to take effect. It's going to be evoked, but Zinix, as ever, holds the line with 1, making a second alongside dupreeh, and this is an impenetrable defense on the CT side once again. Forrest can do nothing but look over the corpses of his teammates, and as good as he's been, this 1v5 would be absolutely ridiculous if he pulled it off. He's only got 7 seconds. It's not going to happen.
Not even close. Can't even find anyone to shoot at. Suffocating from Astralis. And again, it goes back to the utility. As soon as that fake is thrown, a smoke is dropped at A ramp, and that fake is going to accomplish nothing. That had to be NiP. Their hearts just sink when they see that smoke. And I think it's about time for a timeout. Maybe not in this round, as again, it's just going to be the pistols. But next round, that next buy round from NiP, they have to accomplish something. Something that can give them a little bit of positivity moving forward, because they haven't had too much. A couple close rounds, a couple opportunities created.
Especially considering this is their choice of map to start off in such a rough way. Gonna be shivers down the spine. All clumping up, looking for the A hit. Counter nades are solid. Chunk damage to Dennis, the only AK in play. Get Right has spotted Glaive hopping up and down on the CT boxes, but can't really do much with that info. And even if NiP do get the bomb plant, they've got max round loss bonus anyway. Astralis are fine with that result. However, not fine with Glaive going down without much of a fight. Magisk and Device, though, will instantly come back in with kills. And it's looking like this retake is going to be a success.
You can see such a beautiful shift in philosophy for Astralis in this round. Because the full losing bonus is in the favor of NiP, they know it's a buy next round no matter what. They don't care about the plant. Their objective is just to win the round without losing, with minimal losses, essentially. And only Glaive falling. I mean, playing outside of the bomb site, not letting those pistols overtake him. Get Right had to be so aggressive just to find that first kill. And no chance of him building upon it either.
Moving into the 7th round, Jason. Collectively, only 8 kills on NiP, hence the brimming economy on the side of Astralis.
Here we go. Attacking mid is Lekr0. dupreeh's gonna drop down. Molotov and connector, no retreat. Nade goes deep. They're all blind, and dupreeh's gonna go down. Another opening kill for Lekr0 and the Ninjas. But still, they have to do more, and Glaive's gonna try and return the favor immediately, but that's a very aggressive overextension. Doesn't want to sit there for too long. It's Magisk behind the flames. Lekr0's down to half. Looking for something, anything, hoping someone's gonna challenge him. He wants this fight.
Whereas last time it was Lekr0 opening things up with a deagle, now they've got plenty of weapons behind it, now they've got some grenades. They have just tossed their last smoke into window. So it's only flashbangs, and Glaive gonna take this opportunity to start to move around, try and catch NiP in transition. They're still clumped up in mid, the bomb still dropped towards T. Spawn res gonna be found by Glaive, and here comes Magisk. Excellent frags from Astralis, putting themselves back into the advantageous position.
That's so sick. Glaive is going to be doing that all day long. You can see he's not afraid to take those risks. A calculated push in B halls when they lose a player. So many bodies in mid. No one watching the B halls for NiP. Now you have Magisk still aggressive in connector. Get Right drops. The sound gives away his position, and the nade in his hand forfeits his life. And now Dennis, 0-6, needs to find the entry. Forrest has an op, and here comes Dennis over the top. He does find one towards CT spawn. There's an op, but Dennis now left in a 1 versus 3, and he's running out of health, and he's out of time as well. 7-0 for Astralis.
It doesn't make for good reading. Top fragger on NiP, Lekr0 with 4. Magisk and Zinix both on 10, to give you an idea of the disparity between the two teams. It has been every part as one-sided as the scoreline suggests.
NiP, even though they're getting the opening picks, they're having a really tough time with the follow-up aggression, having two players, or at least being able to trade that. And part of that is because, as you can see, Glaive getting aggressive, Magisk being the aggressor and peeking down connector. NiP's not ready to take those fights at the times that they occur, so only individual players falling, and Astralis claw themselves back into these rounds with ease. All 5 towards the B bomb site. This nade is going to do massive damage.
Social Zip next in a different angle, but Dennis is going to instantly trade him out. Now it's down to Dupree. What can he do with the Orc? He's able to relocate, look for seconds, and gets it. The pillar, his sanctuary. And none of NiP can really do much, but now Lekro is going to stand tall. A 2-on-2. One of the best opportunities that NiP have had on this half. And they'll be playing the close angles, but the bomb still hasn't been planted. They're still not entirely sure where Astralis are.
This is a tough scenario as well. There's the AUG from Magisk Force, prompted to move right into the crosshair of Device. So patient is Astralis. Such a battle to even get in there. Dupree held the line for so long, and how are you supposed to overcome that when the reinforcements arrive finally? And if Lekro's the only one producing, it's not gonna happen. Finally, we get a timeout from the Ninjas. They need to talk things over, it's their first. But 8 in a row, Vince, this is looking dire.
Another statistic that makes for very sore ears. In that 8 rounds, 1 plant.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's even with the full losing bonus, that's tough to handle. That extra $800 helps out so much. And again, I mean, you can see NiP might have to just go down to a half buy again with just Deagles, with armor. They're just gonna stack timeouts. A second one taken from NiP, feeling the pressure.
You expect more of a half buy to come in. Some pistols and armor, a few smokes in play, but that's been pretty dire so far. That last round, I thought maybe there was a glimmer of hope. Lekro got 2 entries, it was looking good, but then they stalled. They didn't get the bomb down, and Astralis didn't have to move in. They could just wait until the bomb was planted.
And all the smokes had cleared. I think Forrest had a Molotov, chose not to use it in that scenario, not wanting to give away his aggressive position. Well, they've had, I believe, two timeouts to kind of really talk things over and try and figure out a plan. And Astralis obviously feeling no pressure.
Absolutely not. They have money in the bank. Accountant very happy with how things stand. Full grenades. Don't need to double up with a second AWP. Things have been going just fine. So, I mean, NiP would have to come back with 2 or 3 consecutive rounds just to break Astralis. Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's the real tough part, right? So much money is built up here. A lot of NiP signs in the crowd. A lot of NiP jerseys in the crowd. A lot of love, as we said, for this team. But that's not going to win you rounds.
Unfortunately not. Yesterday, it felt like the crowd were ENCE's 6th player, getting them across the finish line. But NiP have been unable to do much with the support so far. On the T side, of course, can always be rough, but you're expecting to at least get 5 or 6 rounds here.
So those timeouts turned into a technical pause as we work on some things. So Katowice, I want you to help us continue a tradition we've had in this arena. If everyone can pull out their cell phones, turn on the flashlights, let's make this place beautiful. We've done it every year. It always looks gorgeous. Get them up in the air. You guys have been fantastic. And when OJ says this is the house that esports built, it's because of all of you. We all appreciate it, and that is a gorgeous sight.
Truly a unique experience. What a phenomenal crowd this has been. And of course, we still got the semi-finals, the grand finals to come.
Yes, we really do. This is just the beginning, and we're back into the action. Thank you, Katowice. Here we go, 8-0 in the favor of the Danes. Magisk now behind the smoke, peering up towards top mid. He's gonna find the entry, he's gonna find the follow-up. NiP just simply cannot trade him. He is such a rock.
After all those timeouts, they still invested heavily. And it's completely backfired in the first 15 seconds. Zipnik's 137 ADR can add even more to that tally. Rez sent out the round, and Dennis, last Swede standing. Not for much longer.
Yeah, not for long at all. Device shuts that down. Nobody falls for Astralis. Vince, this is one of the most comprehensive, dominating performances I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a bit shocking. I mean, I don't know why, because Astralis obviously the best team in the world for a reason, but I guess we began to believe in the magic of all the upsets that we've had.
It might have ran out. 13 kills for NiP combined across all 5 players. Magisk has 13 himself, and Zipnix is up there with 12. They need to find something. They need to dig deep, find some of that magic, something that's going to show us it's not done yet. Nade onto Dennis, close to the smoke.
Zipnix only with 1 death, too. Unbelievable. Dennis gonna have to relocate, courtesy of that Molotov. And a smoke onto Connector may afford him a bit of luxury to move up. He's not sure if Catwalk is free. Obviously, we can see from our perspective it is. And now he's gonna start to make a move into the Connector itself. Magisk positioned up on Toll Booth, looking for some stray headshots, not gonna find any. NiP somewhat split up, though.
They've had this connector position a couple times, and they haven't really been able to make anything come from it, because look how aggressive Astralis is retaking it. They know you're there. They're not going to let you sit and wait. Lekro with another kill, and he's the only one producing for NiP. Magisk with another quad kill in the round. Now, 3 more kills on Magisk than the entire Ninja's team.
Flawless counter-strike from Astralis. Another round goes their way very comfortably, smiles on the faces of the Danes, and another timeout has been called.
You have to burn them, and it's got to be tough to kind of swallow your pride and make that happen, but if you're NiP, you need something. You need some, I mean, you have no rounds. That's just down to it. You need some kind of a buffer for the second half, so burn all your timeouts in the first half if you need to. Even if it's just for the 1 round, it's worth it. And as you mentioned, so much money, so much economy now built up for the Danes. This seems insurmountable.
Yes, it's not just the scoreline, it's the manner in which they've got here that is the truly terrifying aspect of this performance. A performance that will have the rest of the teams looking over their shoulders and thinking, oh no, Astralis are here. They're not taking any prisoners. Bit of chip damage across the Device and Lekro. But Dupree, with the smoke, is able to pierce straight across the mids. That's information, control. It's going to be a slow round again, maybe trying to draw out some of these nades from Astralis, but they've been very good when it comes to their economy and their utility management.
Yeah, as they always are, and look at these fights. I mean, no one's even shooting at Dupree. He's got so much freedom, and he just feels so comfortable to stand there. Zipnix controls bench, and again, it might be a flawless round for Astralis. Lekro swings out wide with an AK, but he hasn't been able to get into the action for it. Astralis making this so difficult to find a single player, to find a single chance, a single hope.
Astralis are where dreams go to die. On NiP's choice of map, they have been sublime. Put very few feet wrong. Just constricting NiP. They're just choking them out. They can't get any room.
They've only been really put into their, put under the pressure and kind of forced out of their comfort zone twice, and they were both very early on. One is that 2-on-2, or that 2-on-1 it came down to. Zipnix able to clutch it out with 4 kills total. Magisk now gonna get aggressive. He can do no wrong. How's he? Oh, that's Glaive above. And now the A bomb site is open. NiP must have this round. This entire map falls here.
Red's one of the players that you're really looking at from NiP to deliver. Bomb planted very quickly. There is a rotation though. Dupree's making a move from the T-spawn. They need to be very cognizant of this. He could be the linchpin. He could be the player that gets this back in Astralis' hands once again. Another chance may go begging. Rez holding on CT side. Forrest gonna come up against Dupree. Oh, and he's given his position away and gives his head away as well. Dupree finds it, perforates him, riddles him with bullets, and NiP are being slumped over once again. Get Right stuck in shadow, can only do the 1 kill. And Astralis will get another defuse, they'll get another round.
The shadows betraying Forrest. He sees it coming from Dupree. Just shoots a little too early. And that was the best chance NiP had, and it slips out of their grasp. Or should I say, it's ripped away from them again by Astralis. Not messing around whatsoever. And what can you do? 12-0 now for Astralis.
I think Get Right's reaction says it all, really. Frustration. Device, though, gonna be pressured by multiple angles, but still gonna find Lekro all the same.
Dupree almost had a chance to get one more. Get Right's in a great position. He needs that kill, but Dupree's gonna follow it up, and Get Right does go down. Glaive actually wins that out. Get Right missed his chance. Now just down to 2. And if you didn't catch it, Device opens that up with the op pick. The Molotov he drops on the floor of window room, creates a gap in the smoke. And he's so patient to find his chance, his opportunity. This door has slammed shut on the Ninjas. It's about to be 13-0, as Astralis is just so incredibly on point.
Rez, last Swede standing once again. 1 on 5, bomb dropped, 50 seconds to try and pull off one of the best plays that we'll likely ever see if he gets it done, and it won't happen. Astralis 13-0.
What can you really say about this one, Vince? We'll see if NiP can scrape together these last 2 rounds. It's not going to be easy, as nothing has been. Even just getting kills in this game has been a labored effort for the Ninjas. They're buying up what they can, trying to save just as much money as possible while still having a dangerous round here. They want that last round to be AK-47s. No one wants to get blanked on this stage. Device again, patient, Magic again, and Connector. This time the SMGs do some work. They're so mobile. They found some entries, but it closes so quickly. Astralis knowing exactly when and where they need to collapse on this attack, and Rez has no HP to fight with. A team ace for Astralis. I think that might be their 3rd or 4th of this half. They are firing on all cylinders, and what a scary sight to see.
NiP head in hands. At least Rez has a bit of a wry smile on his face. I mean, this has to be up there as one of the best Astralis performances I've ever seen.
It's been pretty nasty, hasn't it? I mean, there's been a lot of good Astralis, so it's I mean, good performances from Astralis, so it's kind of easy to forget all of them. But certainly, at this stage in a tournament, for a team that looked like they could be dangerous, that has been dangerous historically for this team, that has brought them to the limit a couple times in events over the past 4 months, 5 months. It is a pretty shocking result, even with Astralis being the overwhelming favorites, 14-0. And those tell you everything you need to know. Forrest, Get Right, and Dennis combining for 7 kills. Magic still equaling the total of all 5 NiP players.
Glaive gonna have no chill, ruthless aggression. The flashbang will at least alleviate some of the pressure that was building in mid. I think Lekro just saw the head protruding over the top into ladder rooms. A bit of information has been gathered, but time and time again, NiP have got into this sort of position. Hasn't worked out for them. Flashbang. Magisk, of course, still lands the kill. And we're looking like we could be heading to a 15-0 halftime score. It's down to Dennis and Lekro to stop that statistic from becoming a reality. And Dennis has found himself 2 in this round. He doesn't have control of the bomb, though. It's back towards Palace.
Now he's clear out spawn. That might give him the indication that a flank is coming in. He's gonna try and clear towards mid. It's Dupree there, flashbang over, almost lands those shots, just the blind ones. Still hasn't even looked towards A ramp. Zipnix is already up it. He's gonna go for a safe plant. He will get this down, but he's gonna be trapped behind these boxes. He needs to come up with some heroics. That grenade gives it away, and Zipnix has the angle. He steps right into it. 15-0 for Astralis.
Well, Astralis did it against Cloud9, didn't they? They got the 16-0 on train.
2 in a major?
Could we see them double it up? This would be a lot more impressive, of course, at the playoff stage.
Well, we need villains, the Death said. They said maybe Astralis is gonna be those villains, and 15-0. They have a dominant lead. An almost insurmountable comeback ahead of the Ninjas. We'll see if they can do it when we return from the break.
On my own, when you spill that rum and coke on my t-shirt, yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high-pitched feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something.
Astralis laughing their way to a 15-0 lead over NiP in that first half, and there's not a whole lot to say. This could be their second 16-0 victory of this major in this tournament run that they've had. And if you're NiP, you're just kind of fighting to have something to be happy about going into the second map.
Yeah, it certainly feels like they're playing for pride to some extent at this stage. Maybe their CT side can yield something special. But Astralis in prime position. Lekko's gonna have to try and hold the line all by his lonesome. And the Sentinel has been bested. Forest in the meanwhile gonna get flashbanged. Able to at least take Glaive with him, but Rez, he's playing this one so slowly. He is waiting for as many terrorists to push past him as possible, but in doing so, he's baiting the rest of his teammates. Can he feasibly stop this from getting done? Oh, he's picked up two, looking for a third, lands it onto the bench as well. Can't get the fourth, as Matrix does, but there's Forest. I thought Rez had baited too hard, but he pulls it back.
That is all aces from Forest, standing up and cheering, getting the crowd on their feet as well. You're exactly right. That is a very fine line to ride if you're Rez. Device getting such advanced position, and maybe his teammates getting caught unawares, but he recovers nicely with a couple kills. And that's all you can really do is smile in this kind of a situation. And I think NiP even just called their final timeout to let the crowd and the NiP fans really soak it in.
No 16-0, Jason. That is important. One round at a time. In terms of firepower, we're gonna have a huge advantage. If they're gonna get it done, it has to be brick by brick.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can really do. That's kind of what you have to focus on. If you're NiP, is just one round at a time, but they've got 14 more to go. I can't imagine there's been a whole lot of 15-0, 0-15 comebacks.
Certainly not at a major against the world's best team. This would be...
Yeah, that too.
Many plaudits, many achievements all in one, if they could do it. But as you say, Astralis have such a huge advantage. It's great to see them smiling still.
Maybe not for much longer. Here we go. Device with the one deagle. Astralis with such a massive lead, playing the economy in a conservative fashion, not investing into anything. Now, interestingly enough, we'll just kind of go down this line of thought just because it's, I mean, what else do we have to talk about at this point? But if you remember, Astralis did have, what, a 12-3 lead over Renegades in the group stages, or in the Legend stage. And Renegades was able to pull that back and force overtime. So there has been a small bit of weakness shown at times, but certainly 15-0 is insurmountable. Device is gonna get that opening kill with the deagle. And you'd hope they can stop the bleeding. That's the only upgraded weapon, only piece of danger Astralis has.
Device may find more. Dennis playing anti-flash. Gonna have Forest there with him too. He's already made a move round. Some damage is being inflicted. But Forest and Dennis stand tall. 3 players now gonna be forcing their nefarious intent towards the B side, and it's down to Lekro to try and fend them off, and he'll do it just fine. NiP double up, get their second round.
Well, here we go. AK is coming out for the Astralis side on this attack. Can NiP continue this any longer? You do have to say, in this scenario, I mean, guys like Dennis, Force, and Get Right, there's not a whole lot of players more experienced than them. So, I mean, if you're going to want anyone next to you when you go between maps to discuss this loss, you'll want those guys who can bring a positive energy. Deep Molotov in towards B is going to delay things just a bit. All 5 members of Astralis are here, so they're just going to try and overrun Lekro. He's got Dennis rotating back right now, but here it comes. Is Dennis going to be here in time? Lekro's blind, he's backing away. They've gained some ground. Dennis with 2, and now Lekro inside the site can't hold on, and Dennis can get nothing more. Faces a firing squad as he swings out, and NiP, this map all comes down to a 3-on-3 retake.
Some smokes have also been deployed, so Forest can't even afford to push out. Waiting for his teammates to get in position. Get Right, positioned on catwalk. Meanwhile, rotation gonna be found from Glaive, who's a step ahead of Rez. He's read the script and throws him in the bin. Forest with it all to do, 1-on-2. If he can't pull it off, we're going to round... Oh, it's not gonna happen. I was getting ahead of myself. Astralis gonna take down a 16-2 map victory.
Yeah, that is a dominant performance and a statement from Astralis. Maybe displeased at how other teams have stepped up and started to win some of the confidence of the fans. But either way, Astralis, that might be, I mean, they're the best team in the world, and even that kind of a domination is surprising. We're gonna head to a break. When we come back, we'll have the analysts.